Hello, and welcome to Keynote. I'm your host, Elizabeth Moore. In our November episode, we were joined by Chef Adrienne Cheatham, who shared her tips for enjoying the holidays without taking a detour on your health journey. In this month's Keynote, Chef Cheatham shares the recipe for her Mississippi pot roast, a delicious, nutritious, affordable, make-ahead alternative to the typical holiday main dishes. The recipe is in her cookbook, Sunday Best, and for a chance to win a signed copy, visit our Instagram and Facebook pages and tell us how you make your holidays a little healthier for your loved ones. But hurry, our book giveaway expires Sunday, November 23rd. And P.S., we've also included a link to the full recipe in our show notes. I think people are so wed to the idea of I have to serve a turkey, I have to serve a ham, but with your cookbook, you can branch out. You can try some other things. So you had mentioned a roast in your cookbook that our members could use for their holiday meal. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I love to do, there was a huge Italian influence in the Gulf Coast region. There were 3 ships from Sicily to New Orleans every month after slavery ended. So there's a huge Italian population that a lot of people stayed. Some went back to Sicily or southern Italy, but a lot of immigrants stayed. So the Gulf Coast region from Texas to Mississippi, even into Alabama, has a huge Italian influence along that coastal line. New Orleans, you'll get a red sauce, meatball restaurant right next door to like a Southern Creole traditional restaurant. Or you'll have Italian food on the actual menu of the Creole restaurant. So it's so cool to see that. And so like Mississippi pot roast, it's essentially taking a pot roast just like you would see in the North. You take a piece of chuck, and chuck is usually a little bit less expensive because it is a tougher cut of meat that has to cook for a long time, but it's also very lean. It doesn't have a ton of fat. It has just enough to make the meat good, but not so much that it's going to be greasy and heavy. But the influence down there for like Mississippi pot roast, you use dry Italian herbs. So dry oregano, basil, thyme. You've got tomatoes in there, some onions, some carrots, a little bit of green bell pepper. And it all just cooks together low and slow for a long time. And then for that hit of acid to break up all that richness, you have a pepperoncini, which adds a tiny bit of heat, but a little bit of acid, and really just opens up all those flavors.
And that's something you can make a day before, and then
100%. You can make it. It's even better if it's made a day or two before. And because, braised meats are very soft and tender, so when you're slicing it, they can fall apart. So if you make it 2 days before, let it sit in the fridge, it's nice and cold, you can slice it into nice, clean portion slices, and then just put it back together, pour the liquid up back on top, and then just pop it in the oven to warm up, and you don't have to worry about it shredding while you try to slice it.
Wow, that's a great time saver and money saver for our members.
I make it all the time, and you can even pop it in the freezer and then pull it out after you sliced it, and you can have a couple pieces here portioned out, ready to go.
For more information on what you heard today, please check our show notes. And remember, subscribe to Health is the Key wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast and its content are presented solely for general informational and entertainment purposes. The information and opinions provided on this podcast are not intended as legal or medical advice and do not constitute or serve as a substitute for professional medical or psychological treatment, diagnosis, therapy, or other types of professional intervention.